Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well. So what we're going to do in this one, we finished up our new reply notification in the previous lesson, and we set up our to mail and our to database. Now what we're going to do in this one is we're just going to set up our new reply email, the email that will actually be sent out to the user. All right, so this is what we're going to do in this one, just going to create this new reply email. All right, so let's open up our terminal. And then we're just going to add a couple of commands. All right. So open up your terminal and we're just going to create a PHP artisan make mail new reply email. All right. Just name it the same as you can see this one right here. All right. Just make sure that this name right there matches this one. Okay. If you named it something else, just name it to here because the notification that you created will look for this email. All right, so you can add the -m for markdown. I'm just going to leave that out. We're going to add that on our own. All right, so just press enter, and now the mail class is created. All right, now what we want to do now is we're just going to go into that email. So under app, you will see now we got a new folder called mail. Right, inside here, what we want to do is we're going to add a public variable again. And this one is going to be for our reply. So public for our reply. We need to know the reply. Okay, because if you look in here in the mail class, we're going to have to pass in that reply. Okay, so we're passing that reply, and then we're going to get that reply, and we're going to put in the reply model right here. Just make sure, as always, I'm just going to keep saying it, import it at the top. Otherwise, you're going to get unexpected errors and you don't know what is happening. Right, and we're just going to set this reply, meaning this one right here. We're going to equal that to the reply, this reply right here. Okay. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we can put our public, we got our function. We can actually leave that construct right there. Right, the next thing is we need to set up our build right here. Okay. And we need to return a view. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to say this subject. All right, the subject is we can just do this. Just the subject. Okay, we're going to put double quotes in there. We're going to just say regarding. Right, you remember that we passed through that replyable subject. Okay, we're going to put it in here. This reply. We're going to get that replyable. Okay, and then we're just going to get the subject. Right, this will basically be, let's say the thread heading will be in there regarding the thread heading. Okay, so we got that done. All right, now the next thing that we want to do is we want to pass in the markdown. Okay, like this. Okay, and then we're going to create a folder. We're going to call it emails. And inside that folder, we're just going to create a file name called new, like that. Right, so we save that. Okay, because this is going to come from our notification. So these details are being passed through right there. And then we just receive it right here. Right, so what we want to do now is we want to actually go to that view and create that view for our email class. All right, so under, let's just minimize that, resources, views, we're going to create our own folder right now. Just create a new folder and we're going to call it emails. All right. Just remember, as you can see, the emails right here is what I'm referencing, the folder. And inside that, we're just going to create a file like this. Okay. So in the emails, we're just going to create a new file. And we're going to call this one new reply.blade.php. Okay. So now we got that file created. Now what we want to do in this one, let me just show you something. Under your vendor folder, you will see we got a mail right there. you will see we got our email that comes with the Jetstream installation. This one right here. You can copy everything in there, but I'm just going to create my own little things. All right. But we're going to use the same syntax. All right. The first one that we want to do is we're going to create an add component. As you can see, we get them right there. Now the component in this case will be, the first one will be mail message. Okay. And then we can add anything that you want in here. Okay, we're going to do star, and this is basically going to be the reply author ID, just the author, and I just want to put the name. Okay, then what we want to do is we want to say, this is just bolding the text, just make it bold. All right, is replied to this thread. So the owner of the thread will basically get this message. Whoever replied is replied to this thread. Okay. The next thing that we want to do is we want to just put in excerpt. Okay, so add component again. All right, just remember the top one right there encapsulate the whole thing. All right, and then this is just going to be in between that. Right, and then we're just going to add the mail, just the panel. Right, and then we're just going to add the excerpt for the reply. Okay, so reply excerpt like this. Right, so let me just show where that comes in. Just bring in your reply model. You can see this part right here. Okay, so we can put obviously any limit we want in there, but as the limit stands, it's at 200. Okay, so what we can do is we can make it 250 maybe for the email. Okay, so we put in our excerpt right there, and then we obviously need to, the next part is we need to be, for the user to be able to click a button or link to be able to get to their post, all right, or their thread or something like that. Okay, so they get the reply right there. They can see the excerpt of the mail, of the reply. Let's just make it less. 200, just leave it at 200. Okay, so now we need to make a clickable button for the user. When they click the button, they will actually go and see the reply under their post. Okay, so we're just going to get in that mail, put in button right there. Okay, and now we need to add the URL for that route. Okay, so what we want to do now is let's just go URL, and then we pass in the route. Okay. Right, for our route, basically, let me just open up our web route quickly. I want to show you. Right, under our web route, where is it? This one right here. Right, we're going to basically go to the thread.show. As you can see, we need to pass in two parameters. We need to pass in the category, and we need to pass in the thread right there. All right, the slug. So let's do that. So in our reply right here, we need to go to basically the threads.show, and we need to pass in that parameters right there. We have two, right? The first one is basically going to be that replyable. This one will be a bit long, right? The first one, category. Get the slug of the category, and the next one is, let me just copy this, just that part right there and paste it in here, and this is basically going to be the slug for the replyable. I think I'm calling on the method right there, needs to be like that. Right, replyable, and this one will basically be the slug. Just remember, the reply is basically the reply of the threads and the slug, and this will basically the reply of the threads category and the category, the slug of the category. Right, you can save that up now. So now that's our button and the link to the button, obviously. And this one is going to basically just say view thread. Okay, so that we can actually, when the person clicks on the button, they can actually go to the thread. We will obviously update this a little bit later, maybe, depending if we need to change things right there, okay, to make it a little bit easier for us. We're probably going to change this, but for now, we're going to leave it as is. All right, and then we can leave it like that. All right, let me just think, what else can we do? Let me just check here. Right, I think that's it. As you can see right here, they got kind of a different way of doing it, and I'm just going to leave mine as is. And I'm just going to say thanks. Just do like this. Thanks. Well, okay, like that. All right, so we set up our mailable class right there, and now we bring in our email in our reply notification right here. Just now, just make sure you import it at the top as well. All right, so that this class, this reply notification class, know which mail we're talking about here. Okay, making sure we got that user imported as well. All right, so that's it for this one. We created our mail class right there. So we got our mail, and we set up our view, a markdown view for this right here. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. I will bring out the next one. We set up our database. So this is done now. All right. We're going to set up our database. So that will be a short one. And then maybe we can do the notification and the policy in the same lesson. All right. I'm just thinking in terms of if someone have to go back, instead of having to go through a whole lot of different subjects, they can actually just find this one video or the one lesson where they can actually just go through it. Okay, if they found an error or something like that. Right, that's why I kind of break it down like that. Right, just the one video or something about a specific topic. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one where we will be setting up our database and hopefully create our policy as well. The database will be quick, so we can maybe do this too in the same one. All right, thank you guys, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.